Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Papa Boris here, playing some more Through the Ages. This time I decided to wait until someone actually joined my game before hitting the record button, and we're playing a game here against a level 35 person in the app, Vopis007. Welcome aboard. So this is the base set, which means that we're not playing with the expansion, but we are playing with updated versions of some of the cards. So here, with 2 leaders and a wonder, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the wonder. I think that I don't want to have my opponent get a wonder and a leader. This is a good wonder. Library of Alexandria gives a culture and a science per turn and also increases your hand size for both types of cards. It's actually deceptively useful because sometimes, like civil action hand limit, it doesn't matter until it does and you get completely screwed by it. And the military action limit's actually pretty important because it allows you to hold basically 50% more cards, which is kind of significant. This is actually a really good time to be the first player because I can grab Engineering Genius, build a mine, and I can take a leader as well. So I can take and play Alexander or Aristotle. I can also take a leader and then increase my population. So the question is, do I want to use Alexander the Great immediately? So I could take him, play him, and then next turn I could upgrade my population twice, build an urban building, and I'd have an extra card left over that would unfortunately not be usable for pretty much anything good whatsoever. Engineering Genius sadly gives 2 rocks, and so I can't build a stage with just it. And if I build an urban building, I also cannot, I won't have a rock left over to build a stage without using Engineering Genius. So that is a point in favor of taking a leader but not playing him, so that next turn I can raise population once, play the leader. Oh, it's the same exact problem. Okay. So he's got Caesar. He's going to have some strength. All right, we'll grab Aristotle. I think I've used Alexander the Great. We'll go ahead and give Aristotle a shot. And I'm going to raise population. I don't know if it really matters which one I do first. Playing the leader or raising my population. But this way, I could potentially not play Aristotle next turn, though why I wouldn't play him, I don't know. So it's often good to be first player, but notice in this game it's better to be second, because second player is going to get first crack at these technology cards. Me, I have to spend 2 actions to pick one of them up. He's going to... Whoa! 2 actions to put the Colossus under construction. Jeez, I don't know if I would have done that, but okay, he's going pretty hard for the combat. Alright, so here I'm going to not play any events. I don't want to put a colony in without knowing if I'm actually going to go for colonies. We'll play Aristotle, build a lab, and I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here. I'm going to grab the Code of Laws, and I'm going to go for an early Code of Laws. Now, it's a risk because Caesar can play 2 actions per turn. Doing this leaves me without a worker, so if one of the 2 actions that he plays flips the Free Temple event, I am going to be sad, but that's life. Alright, do we get a Free Temple? No, Warrior? That's fine. I wasn't going to build a Warrior anyway. Oh, he doesn't have any warriors either because of his weird move, or workers either, so he's not going to be able to profit from a temple either. So that's cool. So Aristotle, some synergy with him is civil action, so you can take more cards and potentially be able to play more tech cards. In addition, science is actually synergistic with Aristotle because the more science you get, the more you can play your technologies. All right, I'm not going to play any more colonies. I could potentially think about it, but the cartography is not out yet, and he has the Colossus, which is going to give him a colonization bonus. Did he spend 2 actions to take knights? He took knights very aggressively, so he's going for a really hard military move. And he could, I mean, depending on what card comes out, he could potentially build the wonder. He cannot research knights. It would take a very precise arrangement of cards here. He'd have to get 2 science and 2 rocks to build this wonder, play stockpile, research knights, and make a knight. So I'm safe for the nonce. Okay, let's go ahead and skip politics. Let's do nothing there. And think. So this extra science, you do kind of want to build it as soon as you can. I'm 1 rock away from being able to build it now. I could have fished for a rock, but I'm not going to do that. So question is, what do I go for? Normally, you'd go for iron without really thinking about it, but he is going for a pretty hard strength game. So there's some consideration just to grab warfare. The problem is if I'm spending all of Aristotle's bonus science on the Code of Laws, I'm not going to have much left over. Actually, no, it's screwed. I'll just take both of them. It's fine. I'm going to have an extra civil hand size, so I can kind of get away with murder a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and build a stage. Now, reserves, urban growth, there's Wait, what am I doing? Hold on. I'm an idiot. I need to research Code of Laws to get an extra civil action. There we go. And then I'll build a Sage of the Wonder. So there's some consideration for these, especially because Alchemy's coming up. Urban Growth would give me a free, or not a free, but a very cheap upgrade to Alchemy. Now here, I'm going to keep one of the tactics because they're duplicate and get rid of the developed territory. I would not be above taking Christopher Columbus and Columbusing. Columbus lets you spend a political action to put a colony into play just for yourself. And this is a pretty good one to get. Main issue is you do lose a blue cube, and that's not an insignificant drawback. And I'm getting Code of Laws, so I'm not going to be able to pick up Justice System, at least without it being horribly inefficient, to get the blue cubes. I've drawn, like, a lot of colonies. 3 colonies. That's with only just the basic 2 draws. Kind of interesting. So yeah, Warfare is a card I don't actually take off, and one of the problems with Warfare is if you have Warfare, it makes the strategy card a lot worse because it doesn't give you as much, and it's very inefficient. Because remember, you can only have 1 blue card of a type at a time. But just in this particular game, with, you know, the situation being what it is, it seems good to maybe have a backup plan. All right, so Christopher Columbus, awkward spot. If I take Alchemy, he's going to fall off. How good is it to take him? I mean, it is really good to be able to get 3 yellow tokens. I also have the now backup plan of actually getting 2 yellow tokens. It doesn't give you food, but it does give you a free population increase, which is kind of equal to getting some food, and you don't lose a blue token. So it's tempting, but I don't think it's tempting enough to pass on Alchemy. Now, there is another Alchemy coming. I could also spend 2 actions to take him. That's an interesting idea. That's kind of an obvious idea that I didn't really talk about. Okay, well, without Cartography and with him having Colossus for 1 colonization bonus, I think it would be foolhardy for me to play any actual things. I am going to finish this Wonder, just to get that done. So now, what do I do with my 3 civil actions? Well, at the moment, I don't have a defense card, and he can play 2 aggressions. So it would be nice to, you know, build a warrior. I think actually I am going to spend my last 2 rocks on this as a concession to my opponent being Caesar and being ahead of me. And then I could take Columbus, but instead I'm going to take a slightly less adventurous line. We're just going to grab Alchemy, be sad that Columbus will fall off, and I'm going to also grab a reserves. Now, Breakthrough, there's some consideration for it because science is good to have with Aristotle, and getting 2 extra science is not bad, but I think I'm only making 3 rocks a turn. It'd be nice to have this option to get some more research going. Okay, without Columbus, I don't need to worry about keeping colonies in hand. I guess this is the least useful card. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to aggress him, and that Plunder only steals 3 resources, so it wasn't even a big deal, even if it did come up. Alright, so next turn kind of sucks. This Knights is going to be in the bitch spot, and I definitely need the Knights. The other Knights is in his hand. I do need the Knights to be able to compete with him. Alright, so he's going for it. Well, that's fine. I have 4 cards. Thanks to the library, might I add. So it's good. The main issue is that if he plays another aggression, which it seems like he's gearing up to do because he knows I can defend. Yeah, he's forcing me to throw away my tactic. So I lose my phalanx. Now, I think that's still better than getting plundered here. But it is kind of sad that I lost the tactic. The good news is there's only 2 of those phalanxes. I drew them both. And so he's not going to get it either. He might get a mobile army. Not a mobile, a medieval army. And I can copy that later on if necessary. He's going to get Joan. Did he build a temple? He built a temple. Wow. So he's caught up to me on culture generation thanks to that temple. And okay. So this is kind of awkward. Because Genghis Khan would have actually been nice to have. That's the one unless you count infantry as cavalry. I could have gotten my phalanx with him and gotten 3 points a turn because I would have leaped ahead of Caesar. As it is, I don't have that tactic, so Genghis Khan doesn't actually do anything because it only does something if you have tactics, and currently I have no cards whatsoever, so it's a little bit of an awkward spot. He has played 2 aggressions. I threw away a 3rd. The likelihood of him having 2 more aggressions is pretty small. So what I think I'm going to do here, obviously I'm skipping politics, we'll take the Knights. It's a science for Aristotle. I've gotten a lot of it. I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 science with Aristotle. It's a decent number of science. And here, the question is whether I play Warfare. I don't want to play Warfare, because then I'm going to be a science short of being able to play Alchemy. But it would allow me to basically be totally safe from him. However, I am actually going to get Alchemy and upgrade. 4 science per turn, and we could look forward to maybe grabbing Leonardo, which would give me an extra science, and a rock whenever I research a technology. And besides that, there's nothing much to do, unfortunately. Taj Mahal is a very high culture generating wonder, but I think it would be a mistake to take it since it's just a lot of rocks for culture, and I don't really have the ability to do that. So we'll play these reserves for 2 rocks, and we'll grab a Frugality. It's not the greatest, but it's all I can take. Sadly, I cannot hate draft Alchemy because I've already taken Alchemy. So next turn, we'll kind of play it by ear and see what happens. I could maybe research Iron and upgrade a mine. Sadly, I can't upgrade the other one because Frugality does not give rocks. I could... Oh, we're getting rocks. Okay, so I could actually research Iron and upgrade 2 mines, get my rock production going. And then maybe the University would be good to pick up. I think he'd like to pick up the University as well. Another option is I could choose to get food with this event, increase population, research knights, and make a knight. So I'm not getting the tactic, sadly, which is very, very sad. But it does at least tie me on strength, and I'm not going to get ahead on strength because when he loses Caesar, he's going to get strength back from Joan. Alright, so I can copy this at least from him in a turn. Let's see, how many cards does he have? He has 3 cards. There's not that many aggressions left, so he can destroy one of my alchemies, which is kind of annoying. He can make me lose or make me lose a population. It's a tough one. I could do this. This would be really good, the bonus rocks, if I end up making Iron this turn. So this is what I need to think about, is do I make Iron this turn? What's this, culture 1? He'll be getting 2 culture per turn with Joan, so he's in a pretty strong spot. It's really good if you can get ahead on culture and military at the same time. So I can do the knights, make a knight. Sadly, I cannot make knights and warfare. I need to pick up 2 tech cards for that, and I'd have to do something weird like take printing press and swordsman. It would just be a little bit bizarre to do that. Did he take swordsman? He did. So I'm getting the swordsman. I don't have to worry about those not appearing. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to let him aggress me. It seems unlikely that in 3 cards he's got 2 aggressions. 2 would be just disastrous, but I'm going to gamble it's not going to happen. So we're going to put new deposits in there. Ooh, a population. Nice. I'm going to choose to get rocks. Oh, gosh. You know what? I'm going to choose to get food. It's a little bit risky, but this allows me to play Frugality and increase population. So I actually cleared out my bank despite not having any kind of like leader or anything that would help with that. So upgrade a mine. It does mean I'm not upgrading alchemy, and I'm going to grab engineering genius. I'm going to shoot for that university. So university would give me 2 extra science per turn and a culture per turn. It would take a lot of actions to build it, but I have 5 actions unlike my opponent. I made a mistake, actually. I should have spent my 2 military actions to copy his tactic. It would have meant that I didn't draw cards this turn, but the cards aren't going to help me block any aggressions anyways, so that was a bit of a slip-up. So taking stock of the situation, he's about to start generating 2 culture per turn to my 1. He is way ahead of me on strength, so I need to get the knights going and fix that. And Leonardo, I guess, is in the very back of the deck, which sort of sucks. I could actually take Frederick Barbarossa. We haven't talked about this guy much. Oh, geez, that's awful. So he gets to draw 3 cards, and then he can play another event. So now he might have drawn an event. That's actually pretty much the worst thing that could have happened to me, is him getting to draw 3 extra cards from the deck. At least it's age 1, so it's not age 2 cards. Anyway, Frederick Barbarossa, you can spend a military action to increase population and build a unit at the same time, and it costs you 1 less rock and food than usual. The problem is, I actually cleared out my second bank, so the fact that this population increase cost me only 3 food instead of 4 is not really going to help me. Okay, so a very awkward spot here. This irrigation is currently set to land at 1 civil action from my opponent, and he's probably going to want that because neither of us really fixed our food. I'd have to spend 2 civil actions to get it, which sort of sucks, because I'm also thinking about spending 2 civil actions to put the university under construction. Might be time to research warfare. That would go up to 3 strength. I'd be 5 behind. I have 2 defense cards, though. Ah, geez. Okay, so I'm losing a worker thanks to the enslave. It does give him 2 resources of both types, so he gets to get an extra worker. And now he's 7 ahead of me. Oh, God. Okay. And he's also drawing 3 cards thanks to Colossus. So this is a really strong start for my opponent. He's now... Oh, he's built an extra temple. So now he's making 2 extra culture more than me per turn. And he's got military strength advantage. So it's not great of a situation here. I've also got only 1 worker. So lots to think about. I think I might have to let irrigation go. If I can get happy faces, these are going to be actual workers. So in H2... either team sports or either of these 2 organized religions will get me all the happy faces I need. Now, theology, of course, is here. That would give me a short-term access to workers, but each worker you spend only gets you 1 net worker, so I'm not going to go for it. I don't see any point in playing events, because this is mostly filled with stuff that's bad for me, except for the new deposits, and my opponent can go ahead and get me those. So the question is, can I really get out of dodge on the military front? Well, let's just play around. I can research warfare. And then I can't research knights because I'm out of science. So that's not going to help. I'm 6 behind. I can 2, 4, 5. Yeah, I still don't get out of it that way. If I research the knights, I can research a knight. But then I don't have enough military actions to copy the medieval army. So, man, my opponent, I got to hand it to him, pro play. I had 2 copies of Phalanx, but I had to throw them both away to block aggressions, and now I really missed not being able to get that 3 strength bonus. It makes a huge difference. This way, though, with 2 defense cards, I can actually block 1 attack. So we're going to do that. I'm going to take the swordsman, put the university under construction, and probably I should use these 3 rocks to do something. Either build a Stage of the Wonder, upgrade a mine, or upgrade an alchemist. I could take rich land as well to make my subsequent mine upgrade cheaper. Okay, let's think about this. If I research a stage, I'm going to have 4, and I can finish the wonder next turn. Makes no sense to upgrade a lab. I'd rather spend my actions to build the wonder than to make a lab. So let's rule out the lab upgrade at least. This is like 2 rocks. But this is also like a rock because it starts upgrading stuff sooner. 5 plus 3 is 8. I won't be able to finish the wonder. I want to finish the wonder as soon as possible. All right. Well, there is the deposits in there. Okay. I'm going to upgrade a mine on the basis of the fact that... Let's throw away some crap here. On the basis of the fact that if deposits shows up, then I'm going to get an extra rock from having upgraded my mine. But this is actually, yeah, my opponent, that was amazing when he played those 2 aggressions, knowing I could block them both, because I had enough military actions and enough cards. He did it basically just to force the cards out of my hand. Oh god, I'm an idiot. I can't block this aggression because I don't have enough military actions to play the extra card. Oh, so he's going to steal all 5 of my rocks. Yikes. Okay, so now my opponent is in really good shape. He just stole 5 rocks from me. I forgot that I needed to be able to... I needed 3 military actions to block the aggression with these 2 defense cards and 1 regular card, because you can only play 1 card in defense per military action that you have. I really needed to research warfare. Well, then I would have been at 3 strength. Still wouldn't have been good enough, because I would have needed 6 strength, and this would have only been 5. So I should not have researched the knights. That was just a huge mistake. I should not have researched knights, because it did nothing for me to help block the aggression, but it spent 5 science and 3 rocks that I should have used to, like, I don't know. I don't know what the science would have been for, but I could have used the rocks to, like, build part of the wonder, for example. So yeah, I'm just in really bad shape. I still cannot block his aggressions, although I can research warfare, and with warfare and these 2 defense cards, I can block the next aggression. The warfare also increases my odds of getting an H2 defense card. Well, I'm definitely on the ropes here. So my opponent, he's not out of dodge yet exactly. He has crap science, rock, and food production, but he's getting ahead 2 culture per turn. He's left me with no rocks for my turn, so like I have like nothing I can do. I can like research a technology, use engineering genius to build a stage of the wonder. And I guess it's lucky for me, I can take and play a leader, so I have something to do. So I can do like 1, 2, 3, 4 actions. That's actually pretty good considering I just had all my rocks stolen. Now I could flip an event and gamble that I get something good, but if he like steals a worker with uncertain borders, or if I lose a population to pestilence or anything like that, I am going to be in just massively bad shape. Alright, so now I can no longer block aggressions. He probably has an aggression or he wouldn't have done this. This sucks. I'm in a spot where I might end up just resigning this game if he gets a good aggression off on me. But, you know, you have to just play the hand you've been dealt. So what I'm going to do here is just build a stage of the wonder as if nothing is the matter. And with my last 2 actions, I could take a rich land. It would give me a free upgrade for my last mine. It's upgrading a mine or a farm for 3 fewer rocks. Oh, this is still an age 1. Oh, it's only 2 fewer rocks. That's not worth it for 2 actions, I don't think. I could research warfare, and then I'd be 6 behind. Still not enough to defend with these cards, although if I drew an H2 defense card, I think it'd be irresponsible of me not to make this play. I should really do that. It gives me a rock. I could have actually researched Swordsman and upgraded a Swordsman, but that's the same as playing Warfare, and Warfare also gives me an extra military action. And I'm going to grab Irrigation. Because in case I... Oh, wait, I can copy... Oh, I can copy a tactic, right? Yes, nice! Okay, yeah, can we do that, please? Thank you. So now I'm actually safe. Haha! Wait, do I even need Warfare? Well, if I don't have Warfare, I'm at 6 with 2 military actions. Still not safe. Okay, so I'm happy about the Warfare. Notice with 3 military actions, I get to keep all 4 cards because of the library, increasing my hand size. So now he cannot aggress upon me. He doesn't really have the science to grab strategy, which is good. At Joan of Arc, you can see what the next event is. So either he has no events, or he hasn't played an event because he doesn't like what the next event is. Well, granted, last turn he plundered me to steal all of my rocks, which is a pretty good use of time. So there's that. So my opponent, he's in a huge lead, but he's still not out of the woods. He has no food production. He's out of workers. He can research theology, get an extra strength and a worker by upgrading a temple. So he's got, okay, 1 more worker, and he can probably make, I'm guessing he's going to make a swordsman with it to make an extra medieval army. A swordsman would increase his strength by 4. But I can get team sports. I'm glad that showed up, because otherwise I'm out of, I like him, I'm completely out of workers. I could get team sports, take it, research it. It's 5 science research, and then it's 2 strength and 3 happy faces. He's declaring a war. Oh, God, that's horrible. Oh, shoot. So he's going to steal science from me equal to his strength advantage. And you can steal blue technologies in place of science. Criminy Crackerjack Christ. The thing is, with team sports, I spent 5 science to research it. I get 1 rock, so I'm at 7 rocks. And that's not, I'm 1 rock shy of being able to make a knight. And I'm also 2 science shy of being able to research an extra tech. So I can get an extra rock. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. So I'm going to lose Code of Laws, it seems. Because I don't think there's any way for me to get this knight. Is there any way for me to get a knight? I mean, if I get team sports, I would have the worker to make the knight with. But I would not have the rocks to make the knight. 6 minus 5 is 1. 1 plus 1 from Leonardo is 2. So I cannot make a knight. I'm a rock short, and I don't have any more science. Shoot. So that would basically put me at 9. He'd be 7 ahead. He'd steal my Code of Law. So I'd drop to 4 actions and he'd go up to 5. I'm not necessarily lost if I do that. I'm thinking about flipping an event though. There's a 1 in 4 chance I get bonus rocks, then I could make a knight. Alright, I'm gonna go for it. It's risky, but when you're behind, you gotta take risks. That works. That works. Because now I can take team sports, research it, make a team sportsman. And since I have extra science, I can research the technology. Let's do... Should I commit to the irrigation? Okay. I don't know if I want to commit to the swordsman. And I can make a knight. And now he's only 3 science ahead, so he can't steal any of my techs. He steals 3 science, which is bad. He goes up to 10 science, which is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. And he's still making a bunch more culture. Notice how he's ahead of me on culture and on strength, which is a rough place to be. But I do have him beat on science and rock production. And I've used up all my actions. So, yeah, time to end the turn. This is a hell of a game. Oh my god, this is a tense one. Okay, so we got a Napoleonic army, which is a great tactic, one of my favorites from H2. The other one that is obviously a high-in-demand thing is the classic army. There's only 1 of those in the deck compared to the 1 Napoleonic army. There's no duplicates. I did not know this. I did not know there are no duplicates of the tactics cards. Interesting. Well, anyway, there's 1 of these. It's 2 swordsmen, 2 knights. He's interesting. I don't know why he's doing this. I have plenty of cards. It's kind of a strange choice. I guess he doesn't like this event. Or doesn't have an event to play. It would be very weird to do that and block himself from drawing a card. You know, because he's by spending a military card, a military action to play that aggression, he's blocking one of his card draws, which reduces his odds of getting something good. You know. Anyway, I'm looking for the cannon. Oh, he's gonna get the strategy with the science that he stole. Christ. So that's why he was doing it. Nah, he's still blocking one of his card draws. Alright, so he's 8 strength ahead of me, which is annoying. Constitutional Monarchy would be good. I am not really close, although it's with Robespierre. So with one more science, I could take it and then do a revolution with the Constitutional Monarchy. But what I really want to get is cannon. Actually, all the militaries are still on the deck, except for the one cavalryman who picked their head out. I want to get cannon, and then if I could research swordsmen, upgrade them, and then build a cannon that would fix my military problems once and for all. Question is, am I safe? I am 7, 8 behind. I am not safe. 2, 3, 4. And he's got 4 cards. I could risk it and basically lose the game if I fail. This is... I can't build it. Oh, I could build it. I could research swordsman and just spend all 6 rocks to build it. Interesting. I don't want to put a colony in there. Just because I think he doesn't like what the event is. Okay, so I could take Newton, but the problem with that is then I'm not taking Napoleon. Napoleon's going to be big this game. I really need to get some culture. So what I'm going to do is a bit of a strange play. I'm going to research swordsman, and instead of upgrading my swordsman... Well, hang on, should I maybe just do this? I could upgrade my swordsman like this, and then I am 6 behind. Still not safe with my stuff. So since I'm not safe anyway, I'm just going to say F it and finish this wonder. It gives me 1 culture per turn, so I'm still a culture per turn behind, and I'm already starting off 10 culture behind, which sucks, but it's not, you know, the worst thing maybe. And then we'll just grab both of these cards. The idea is journalism's in the bitch spot, so I'm not getting it anyways. And this does not make Conmon appear for him. In fact, it puts Constitutional Monarchy in the bitch spot for my opponent, so he would have to spend 2 of his 4 actions to take it. And I just hope he doesn't have an aggression. He's already played some aggressions. He played 1, right? I did not draw a defense card. A defense card would have made you safe. 4, 6, 7. No, I would not have. I would have still been not safe. Oops. Okay, so there's still 4 aggressions in here. 6 aggressions and 3 wars. He's got it. Oh, God, that's the worst it could have been. So he's going to destroy 2 of my buildings, basically. Any 2 that he likes. And that means I have to, like... spend all my rocks rebuilding. He's probably going to do... Well, he's definitely going to do this lab. Not sure whether he'd prefer to destroy my arena or my other lab. I'm guessing he's going to pick the arena and the lab to destroy. And that way, it would take me like a lot. It's basically like 11 rocks worth of stuff. And I only make 5 rocks. New deposits. Still in there. So I still have 5 extra rocks coming in, potentially. Ugh, this has been a rough game. I just keep hoping that my opponent's being behind on everything. Oh, this is an Age 1 raid. Oh, okay, well that's fine. So I just lose my lab, which is... Well, it's 3 science a turn, 2 for the lab and 1 for Leonardo, but it's getting off kind of easy. Alright, he's got iron. What did he do? I wasn't really paying attention. He got iron. He played Revolution, got iron, rich land, and upgrade. Okay, that's fine. So there's Napoleon. Hashtag... feels bad, man, but I have to just do this because I'm pretty sure this is a really good player. I'm fairly certain that if Napoleon, even if he's 3 pips, my opponent will spend 3 actions just to take and play Napoleon. So I'm gonna, although Napoleon, well, my opponent is getting 4 strength from these temples because there's 2 each of them. There's 2 happy faces. So Napoleon doesn't even increase my opponent's strength. But Joan was going to die. All right, I think I'm going to do it. I could be wrong about this, and if I am wrong, this is a huge mistake. But I'm going to take and just play Napoleon. Am I going to research anything? I think I will take the Constitutional Monarchy, and I can research that next turn. We will... Let's see, should I play Napoleon to be safe from aggressions? Yes, I think I should. So we'll play Napoleon. Now I'm safe from aggressions. I will... do what? I can't build a new thing if I don't research anything this turn. So I think what I'm going to do is just rich land my last mine and pass the turn. Don't think I care about colonies. Happy faces. I don't want us both getting food. Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of colonies. I'll keep the infiltrate. I might actually end up using that because with Napoleon getting cannon online at some point, I could be in decent shape. It's sort of annoying that I've lost that 2 science because I ended up swapping out Leonardo. Except I lost the lab. Because if I had 2 extra science, I'd be at 14. And then I'd basically be able to research Constitutional Monarchy next turn and then cannon the turn after. Interesting. I don't know why he's doing this. He must really not like the events that are in there. Well, let's say I don't like that event. What else do I want to get rid of? I guess I don't need 2 infiltrates. Refugees is a really good card because that would give me 3 strength and make him lose... Sorry, give me a population increase, make him lose a population, give me 3 strength, and make him lose 3 strength, assuming, of course, that I was ahead on strength. But I think it's likely that I will be ahead on strength because my opponent still very behind on actions. Not that far ahead on culture. I mean, just under 10 points of increase. Ah, he got the classic army. Come on, crappity-dappity-doo. So that's an extra 4 strength compared to having 2 medieval armies. Okay, well this does mean I don't actually need the Napoleonic army, so it's a consideration just to upgrade both swordsmen and borrow the classic army. That would give me 1, 2, so 6, I'd be up to 23. Joan's going to live another turn. This is actually more efficient than the classic army, because this is 7 strength for 3 units, so it's kind of like 2 1/3 strength per unit, whereas classic army is 8 strength for 4 units, so it's just 2 strength per unit, so it's a little bit more efficient. I think I should go for it. The question is, do I research cannon? If I research cannon and make a cannon, that would be 5 rocks. I'd have 6 rocks left over. I don't have enough workers to make another lab is the problem. I could efficient upgrade my lab, but the problem is with that plan that it still only gives me 5 science. 12 plus 5 is 17. 12 plus 6 is 18. There's no science cards here, so I would not be able to get Constitutional Monarchy. How long am I willing to delay Constitutional Monarchy in order to get a cannon up and going? You know what? I just want this freaking cannon. I want to be done with this stage of my life where I'm always behind on strength. So I need to do this, play this, and the reason my strength didn't go up is I'm getting the antiquated version of it. I need to upgrade one of these infantry to swordsman, and now I'm officially ahead on strength. Woo! Suck on that. I could grab scientific method, weirdly enough, I guess, and maybe do that instead of alchemy. That's an idea. I could take it, research it, upgrade this. That would give me an extra 2 science. I'd be at 0 plus 6. I'd have Kanman in 2 turns. Is that worth doing? Is it worth hate drafting Republic? It actually is worth hate drafting Republic, because he's got Robespierre. So my opponent would take and research Republic for 2 science. I'm going to hate draft this. And with my last action, I guess I am going to just efficient upgrade to get an extra science per turn. Not sure if that was the right play or not. This actually is interesting. What I could do is, I'm assigned sort of making the Constitutional Monarchy, but I can research Republic. The thing about that is that it's all my science for just basically 3 extra civil actions. Granted, civil actions are pretty good, and I could just take a bunch of yellow cards and stuff. Wealthy territory. Well, that's fine. Basically, I am willing to just throw away everything that is not part of my Napoleonic army for this. My opponent probably is going to beat me on this, but hopefully she has to spend at least 2 units. 1 defense card and Colossus bonus. Okay, that's not great for me. She spent 1 unit. The good news, though, is that she actually doesn't have any workers. So the units you sacrifice go back into your yellow bank, and she cannot get another worker because she's been ignoring food completely. 27 plus 3, 15 plus 2. So I'm behind on culture. I need to get culture going somehow. She took... What did she do? Oh, she put the ocean liner under construction. How soon can she build that? Well, next turn she can spend her entire turn making the ocean liner, or she could take and research architecture. Architecture lets you build 3 stages of a wonder in a civil action. She only has 4 actions, so she actually won't be able to do it. Selective breeding, I could actually hate draft that as well to make it hard for her to get her workers up and running. Oh my gosh, so many different options here. Well, let's see. Do I want to do an aggression on her? She just spent a defense card. If she has no defense cards, this aggression goes through. I would like to play the refugees and see what the hell she put in here. New deposits, would that be good for me? It would not make that much of a difference, unfortunately. Yeah, let's do it. Infiltrate is actually amazing. It would break up her wonder. It would stop her from being able to do it. All right, I'm going to go for it. If she has a defense card, she has a defense card. It's fine. She put 1 colony in there. She might have put in more. If she has no defense cards, though, this is incredible, because whatever actions she spent, I think, 3 actions? Yeah, she spent 3 actions putting that ocean liner under construction. Alright, no, she had a defense card. Okay. I think it was still worth it to go for it, because the refugees was good, but I think that the payoff on that would have been so huge that it was worth doing. Question is, should I hate draft selective breeding? I mean, she is going to now get the ocean liner finished. I wasn't able to break it. So, she can spend her whole turn doing it. She gets an extra worker. She'd have 6 rocks left over. So, yeah, she gets to rebuild her army. Ah, she actually had a different tactic. Wow. So, she was able to recover her 8 strength. Otherwise, I would have been able to get that through. Damn. Okay. Well, anyhoodle, let's see. Should I do the selective breeding? I could take it, and I could just do it instead of... I wasted the science on irrigation because I'm an idiot. But I could take it, research it, upgrade. What I'm giving up for that is the ability to, for example, do Republic and pick up, like, Opera both reserves and upgrade these farms. Yeah, alright, I'm going to do the Republic play. Actions are really good because you can take lots of yellow cards. And with yellow cards, you can do a lot of good stuff. Patriotism or urban growth or scientific method. I'm actually going to take, I think, the scientific method because, like I've talked about before, if you have scientific method, then it makes it possible to take advantage of some of the age 3 leaders based on science. Like Sid Meier, for example, is 9 points a turn if you get 3 scientific methods up and running. Well, there's Air Forces. That's a big gun. My opponent's going to be able to get those in a turn. I would like them as well. It's going to take me longer. There's no revolutionary idea here, unfortunately. All right, there's 6 extra rocks for both of us. So now we're making the same culture per turn. I'm about 15 points behind. That's not true. I'm 17 points behind. I would love a yellow card. I would love the revolutionary idea. That's like a really important card. Because these give 6 science, and I have tons of civil actions. So spending civil actions to get science would be incredible for me. I would love to make a worker and make an opera, perhaps, as well. Though I cannot research opera yet. What did my opponent do? My opponent just built the ocean liner service and got a worker. Okay, that makes sense. And somehow fixed strength. Oh, yes, use the worker from the ocean liner, I guess, to make a swordsman and put the classical army back. Okay. So if my opponent does not have a defense card, I can get an aggression through. There is nothing to infiltrate, which I already used up my infiltrate, but I can plunder, which would be, how good would that be? How good would it be for me to get rocks? Not that great. I don't have much to do with rocks, although I could take and, I can already take and build the Eiffel Tower for 4 culture return. That's actually really good. Then I don't get the Air Forces. My opponent could take and make an Air Force for an extra 13 strength. Shoot. Well, it takes 3, 4, 5, 6. I could actually build the Eiffel Tower and take Air Forces. It's something. Alright, so I don't need to plunder my opponent. Raiding the opponent to destroy her labs would be pretty spectacular. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and flush in the raid. Just seeing if she has any more defense cards. She's already played 2. Did I ever see any defense cards? I must have seen 1. So there's only 3 age 2 defense cards. She drew an age 3 defense card, which is unfortunate, but it happens. All right, so what we're going to do here, I think, is just put this under construction, build it, and grab Air Forces. It sucks that I cannot make an Air Force next turn, but because I'm just 2 science short. But I think it was worth grabbing it to stop my opponent from being able to get it. Alright, this is kind of unfortunate. Mechanized agriculture came up for my opponent, so she's going to get out of her food problems. She or he will get out of the food problems that he or she is facing. The good news is I'm now making 6 culture per turn to my opponent's 2. And I'm ready to rock with Air Forces. Once I get this online, I just need 2 workers. 1 for a cannon. Sorry, 3. 1 for a cannon and 2 for Air Forces to be able to get this magic to happen. My opponent's going to make a movie. Okay, that's basically the Eiffel Tower. So my opponent's caught up on that. Now I could keep plugging away with the aggressions. In fact, I think I will. Let's see. Is it worth plundering? My opponent's actually... Did my opponent lose 4 points for famine? No. She lost her last food. If she doesn't get an extra food production, she's going to start to lose 4 culture a turn due to famine. All right, we'll try to steal 7 points from my... Actually, I'd actually rather steal 7 points from my opponent than steal rocks. So I'm going to go for the plunder. Same deal as before. Let me just make sure. Yeah. Oh, no, now she has 5 resources, military actions, because Robespierre gives a 5th. Oh, it's so annoying. Okay. Well, I think here, it's time to play an event. I'll go for refugees, because that's worth a lot of points. Barbarians. Oh, she has the most culture and is the weakest. That's amazing. Oh my god, that's so good. Because now my opponent has to lose a worker. What worker is my opponent going to lose? Obviously not these happy faces. Can't lose food. Then she's going to lose 8 points per turn. Mine, that seems bad. And then this is her only army. So my opponent now is very squeezed. My opponent has a military lead, but I am now hate drafting the only food card here. And that's trouble for my opponent. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is build a cannon and upgrade a swordsman. So now my opponent is significantly behind on strength. I don't have a war over culture, but I don't necessarily need one to win this. Strategy means military theory is not that good for the opponent. It would only give 2 extra strength in 1 action, so I'm not super concerned about it. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to make a bit of a frisky move. Okay, I'm tempted to take and research satellites. The problem is, if I do that, then I don't have science to make air forces. Do I need air forces? Not necessarily. This would give me 3 strength. Help me win colonies if my opponent stuck colonies in here. And I'm trying to convince myself to do it because it's a fun move. I don't know if it's a good move. All right, I'm going to do it. It's possibly a mistake because it delays the air forces. And if I do get a war over culture, I'm going to be kicking myself for not being able to make an air force next turn. That's... You know what? I'll take it, but I'm not going to research it. Let's just play a bit of a safe move. Let's go here, get 3 food, because I'm going to want to get an extra worker. Let's get breakthrough and reserves. Sadly, I am out of space in my hand, and I can't play reserves without going into corruption. So I'm just going to end the turn without spending my last civil action. This might not be the correct play. Let me take a look. I don't think I want to play... I hate the international agreement. We're just going to get rid of it. So I'm hoping to draw a war over culture, and I left myself with enough science to make air forces. With reserves, I can get the last food I need to make an extra worker. Alas, it didn't happen. So I'll have to think about what I want to do. I am 16 points of strength ahead of my opponent. My opponent has played through 2 defense cards, I guess because I drew 1 and my opponent drew 1. So there's only 4 defense cards left for my opponent to use. My opponent was like at 4 military actions and was 5 strength behind. So if this were a defense card, she could have used it instead of using the H3 defense card. So I'm actually kind of suspicious of the idea that maybe my opponent does not have an H2 defense card, in which case it's very difficult for him. I'm just gonna use the gender of my opponent's leader from now on. It's gonna be difficult for him to block my aggressions. Now the raid is an H3. I could destroy this movie, which would not only kill a happy face, but also take away 4 culture per turn. And then I can also destroy one of these temples, which would throw away 2 more happy faces and put my opponent in a bind. Well, my opponent would just have to like basically rebuild the temple. Okay, there's the ocean liner, building an extra farm to prevent the loss of culture to famine. My opponent still doesn't actually make any food. 1 science short of being able to make air forces. And now, I think I go for the raid. I think it's just so good to be able to blow up a building. So I'm going to do this and then think about what happens afterwards. Would 2 defense cards do it? Let's see, 16? 2 defense cards, 12. No, 2 would not have done it. My opponent would have had to have all 3 defense cards available. Okay, so do I destroy a temple or a lab? The lab gives me actually the same amount of rocks. 2 science or 2 happy faces. Not sure. What's the correct call? We'll blow up the happy faces. Oh, yeah, my opponent, that doesn't do anything for my opponent. I mean, these are unhappy workers, but Ocean Liner Service can just make a new one. So I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to blow up the lab for the other one. I think the science is more critical, and it's more expensive for my opponent to rebuild. Okay, so what I do here is, can I actually do this and Air Forces? No, I'm 2 science short. Damn, that's too bad. Basically, I have to really give strong consideration to grabbing Einstein and pivoting to spaceflight. How much does spaceflight currently give me? Not much. But I could, for example... I'm sorry, this is going to be a long time thinking, and I apologize for that. I could, for example, since I don't have a war over culture, and I'm already ahead enough on strength, and my opponent is in enough of a bind without being able to make air forces that, like, I should be fine to stay on the head. I could like take Einstein. With Einstein and spaceflight, every tech is essentially worth 6 points, and I have a lot of actions. The main limiting factor is science and actions, but I could do, for example, a move like this. I could put spaceflight in. I could break through a technology. Take Einstein, play him. Well, let's play it out. How many actions does this take? So 4 to put that under construction. My hand size is out, so I have to research something. Actually, it makes more sense to play a reserves, doesn't it? So I don't lose out on 3 points from Einstein. Yeah. So then we take and get Einstein. Oh, this is actually kind of annoying because that's it. My turn is over. So next turn, I can get the computers online. It'd be better if spaceflight were further down, because these 4 actions to put under construction are actually kind of a bind. Okay, so it's something I could still do, but I'm not as excited about it. Another option is I could still get spaceflight, just because it's worth a lot of points. I could research scientific method, reserves for food, get 2 of these guys, and go for Sid Meier to get a bunch of culture that way. I'm still behind on culture, and my opponent is the problem, and I need to catch up at some point. Air Force doesn't actually do anything for me at the moment. Gosh, this is a tough one. Okay. I don't know if this is the right play, but it's the play I'm going to make. I'm going to grab reserves for food. I'm going to let spaceflight go. We'll get multimedia, research multimedia. We'll get some multimedia. I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put Einstein in. I'm not gonna get spaceflight, but I will get Einstein. This might be wrong, but this way I'm up to 9 culture per turn, a ridiculous amount of science. Everything I research gives me 3 points thanks to Einstein. Am I gonna be? I'm okay with being corrupt. It's fine. Everything I research gives me 3 points thanks to Einstein. Do I care about this? It's not a big deal. I will get rid of it. I want to keep the aggressions, because I could still research air forces and make an air enforcer. There's the war over culture. Oh, damn it. I wish I had drawn that earlier, then I would have obviously stolen a bunch of culture and been in much better shape than now. Shoot, well, that sucks. But any hoodle, my opponent needs now just 1 defense card to be able to block aggressions, because 6 plus 4 is 10, and I'm only 10 ahead. So maybe I made a mistake switching to culture generation, but the thing is, I'm like just behind my opponent on culture, and like the amount that we have, and I can generate, I think, quite a bit of it, because I can, like, for example, use reserves for food, raise population, get opera going, make an opera. That's 3 extra culture a turn, and then my opponent rebuilt the movie. And then just go wild researching text. I could even potentially get another multimedia before the game ends. Oh, the game's going to end pretty soon. You know what? I might have messed up. Maybe it would have been better for me to go for the space flight. Or just to wait for the war. I might have just split the bill too much. Okay, so can I do a war over culture? My opponent now can research air forces. And then make an air force thanks to military buildup, giving him the rocks that he needs. That would mean that he's getting a 5 plus 8 is 13. He'd actually get ahead of me and win the war. So, And I don't have enough military actions to make an air force. See, I could spend 3 to engage the war, and then I don't have any military actions left over. Man, switching to Einstein might have been a mistake. Huge mistake. We'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and just play a thing. I have nothing else to do with my military actions. And, I mean, he only needs 1 defense card, but might as well make him use it. And there are only 4 left. It is possible he doesn't have any. He does have a pretty big hand here. Alright, he had 1. It's fine. So now I should think about the internet, maybe? Each multimedia is worth 6 points. Okay, we'll get the internet. I think I can build it. I just have to be a little bit careful not to run out of rocks. So what if I did this and made an opera? 6 plus 6 is 12. So I'm 2 rocks short of being able to make the internet. Can my opponent end the game? No, my opponent cannot possibly end it. So I'm going to do that. That seems fine. Yeah. Alright, this is actually really good that I drew a defense card. That's one less defense card that my opponent can now get. Maybe what I should have really done, though, is found a way to get satellites in last turn, because that would have given me an extra 3 strength, and then 1 defense card would have not been enough. He would have then needed 2, and now there are only 2 left in the deck. And this is kind of a big deal. This armed intervention, I steal 7 points. It's like a 14-point swing. But as long as I don't goof up with my rocks and leave myself the 14 rocks I need to make the internet, it's a decent chunk of points. I mean, it's not that high. I would really have needed to make another multimedia for an extra 6, because each multimedia gives a total of 6. Culture and science, 3 and 3 of each. Well, 3 of one and 3 of the other. Alright, he went to fundamentalism for an extra 5 strength, and he did it through a, what's-a-face? A revolution. Oh, did my opponent mess up? My opponent might have messed up. We'll see. So he is 4 strength away from me, which is enough to block, but he only has 3 cards. So I'm actually going to go ahead and play an aggression. I'm going to save this one because this is the one I want to really hit him with. I'm going to do this one. Actually, can I get away with doing a war? He has enough science to get the Air Force. Yeah, so I'm not going to do a war. All right, we're going to do this. And he now needs to have one of the 2 remaining defense cards. Aha, he didn't have it. Pro plays! All right, so we get to destroy this movie, which is huge, because that robs him of 8 culture per turn, since Chaplin doubles his best theater's production. So he... can he rebuild this? It costs 11 rocks to build. Yeah, he's got reserves. He can make it back, but that's like his entire turn. And do I get rid of a temple? What would that look like? It would not make any difference. Oh, interesting. He's at 0 science because of fundamentalism. Fundamentalism is a H3 government that makes you lose 2 science per turn, but you cannot go negative on science, apparently, so there's no point destroying the lab. Other than, yeah, it's the same number of rocks. It's half of the cost. So these cost 5, the labs cost 6, but half rounded up is still 3, of whether it's 5 or 6. Okay, so any hoodle, I gained a bunch of rocks. So now the question is, what am I doing with my life? Well, I think what I want to do is, let's see, I don't think I can use revolutionary yet. The main thing I'm thinking about is whether I can make the internet and fast food chains. My opponent is probably going to hate draft fast food chains if I put myself in a position where I can actually do that. So, okay. Let's go ahead and research satellites for 3 points. I could get mechanized agriculture for 3 points. I doubt my opponent's ever going to put the impact of technology event in there. So this would be worth 4 points, or it would be worth 4 points less than an H3 technology, but as it is, it's just as good as anything else. Although really, I should probably just do things this turn that actually matter, because next turn I'm going to have a whole lot of actions. Although the internet, basically, can I make an extra multimedia? That's what I should really be trying to do, is make an extra multimedia. I could destroy a mine. Let's just see what this looks like. Make a multimedia. Get Engineering Genius. This is worth 4 rocks. Engineering Genius gives you 5 rocks, but the most expensive stage of the internet is only 4, so it's 4 rocks. 9 plus 4 is 13, so I have enough now to make the internet. And then I'm going to research scientific method before it goes away, so I can get those 3 points. Going to research this. Now, can I do this? Can I upgrade my food? 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. That's 1 rock short, and I don't have any way to get rocks, so that would be a tragic blunder. What do I do then for my last actions? Patriotism? I'm not going to have enough, I don't think. Maybe I'll do this. And 10 plus 1 is 24. I don't know if this is going to matter. We'll take it. Corruption. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on a second. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 minus 2 is 11. Plus 4 is 15. Okay. I have definitely lost games due to leaving myself just shy of the rocks I needed to finish building a wonder. So you have to count your rocks very, very carefully when you're in this point of the game. Okay, so my plan is to research Air Force and mechanized agriculture. I have an unhappy worker. I'm actually in revolt right now. That shouldn't be a big deal. Internet should be worth 20 points? 22 points. Oh, very nice. Okay, that's fine. If I had to, so this is, I have basically essentially 15 rocks. It's unfortunate because if I had 2 extra rocks, I could actually have made a temple for an extra 2 points. 1 for the temple, 1 because it produces a culture for the internet, and then a happy face, which might matter. Democracy is worth an extra 3 points. It's a lot of science, but I might not have anything better to do, is the thing. 17, 29, 36. I'm at 30. Yeah, so I don't think it actually makes sense to get democracy. Because what democracy does is I still have the same number of civil actions. Republic also has 7. It gives me an extra military action compared to Republic. That might be worth a point if he puts in the impact of actions event, but I doubt he will. So these two, if I just research them, they could just give me 6 points with Einstein. Oh, he's actually making Air Force. Interesting. So he's ahead of me on strength. He might put in the impact of strength event for 10 points. I don't think it's worth it to speculate that much that he's going to do it, though. It seems a bit strange. Okay, so I can't do this anymore, so I'm skipping politics. It would suck if he hit refugees that I put in there. That would be a big swing. Yeah, that's only a 1 in 4 chance, though. He might not even have an event for all I know. All right, I'm not going to worry about that. What I'm going to do is I have to decide whether it's worth it to get democracy or not. So if I get democracy, it's kind of like getting... Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do this. So the revolutionary idea, sadly, is wasted. Wasn't quite the right yellow cards coming out. And then we're going to make... Oh, I don't have enough actions. Whoops. Hold on. Don't have enough actions. It takes 5 actions. Right, okay. So 2 stages, 3 stages, 22 points, and I have 3 civil actions left. Wait, why can't I? Oh, right, because I don't actually gain civil actions for researching democracy. So there's no point in doing that. I might as well... Yeah, I might as well just research air forces and mechanized agriculture. And then, can I do this? Can we get my farm up? That's nice. So that in case he puts the food event in, I don't know if it matters. And then what I could do is I could just throw away a worker. I'm 15 behind. 12, 13. I'm not safe. Okay, so my last action, unfortunately, is not to upgrade my food production. So both those yellow cards are wasted. It's actually to destroy a farm so that I have an unhappy worker. I do want to prevent uprising because I want to make my 15 culture per turn here. Okay, so I think I got this game. My opponent, there's no H3 events in here, so my opponent can't get a comeback. Best thing that can happen for him is he makes like 13 points for playing an H3 event. He gets, oh, well, a Hail Mary there. He flips refugees from it, which gives him an extra 6 points. That's like 19 points. So he's at 99. And he still has a lot of points to make up. He can't make a wonder. He's just not able to do anything. And he didn't play an event. He went for the Hail Mary aggression, which I don't know what he would have even done with those rocks. I guess he would have made another movie. It's only 4 culture, though. So he either doesn't have any events or he, like that are productive for him to play, or he made a mistake with what he just did. I'm guessing since he's been a really good player that he just didn't have a good event to play or didn't have any events at all. Okay, so this is a really strange situation. There's no event cards in the deck at all. So it's just whatever is the current score. Well, that's a pretty solid victory against a fairly strong opponent. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that climb from the brink of despair. I hope to see you again soon. Take care.